What's up, Interweb? RhyQuinn here, and welcome back to my team analysis video for week 2 of the CBL, and this week we are playing Aussie and his Sydney Swannas. So we didn't get off to a good start last week, but we're hoping we can bounce back with a win this week. The teams that can potentially be brought will be on the screen now, but I'll quickly go over both of them. My team, the Nido Queen's Park Rangers, can potentially bring to this game Tyranitar, Salamence, Tangrowth, Jellicent, Hitmonlee, Raichu, Mega Pidgeot, Reuniclus, Jirachi, Garbodor, and Darmanitan. I really need to sort that order out, it's wrong on my spreadsheet, but you know, whatever. And Aussie can potentially be bringing Heatran, Staraptor, Tentacruel, Galvantula, Tyrantrum, Zaytu, Mega Venusaur, Excadrill, Ambipom, Pangoro, and Cryogonal. So first few things that I noticed about his team is, one, it has a Tyrantrum. That is very scary. Mega Venusaur is not as much of a problem as it normally is for most teams, because I do have a Mega Pidgeot, which is always nice. Excadrill, Spooky Dooky Threat. And he does have a bit of a pronounced fighting weakness, what with Heatran, Tyrantrum, Excadrill, Ambipom, Pangoro, Cryogonal, and not much to take fighting hits. Like, he's got Tentacruel potentially, but if it's a strong enough fighting hit, it still won't be taking it too well anyway. Galvantula, but it's too frail. Zaytu, if I pack some coverage on a fighting Pokemon, for example, if I have fighting coverage plus, like, Dark or Rock, not going to be taking that too well. Mega Venusaur is the best thing to take fighting hits, but like I said, I do have other ways to deal with that Mega Venusaur in the form of like Mega Pidgeot, for example. So I'm feeling like fighting is going to be pretty much the way to go in this one. The fighting coverage is going to be really going to come in handy, I feel. But with that said, let's get into the team that I am bringing to this week. So. The first one that I decided to bring for this week is HBK, the Hitmonlee, holding the Assault Vest with Unburden, I'll come back to that one in a second, with Close Combat, Stone Edge, Rapid Spin, and Mach Punch, max HP, 60 in attack, 72 in special defense, and 128 in speed with a Jolly Nature. This Hitmonlee, like I said, fighting really hurts his team. This Hitmonlee can, it has a chance to OHKO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of his potential mons that he could bring. 8 of the potential 11. It has a chance to, or it's guaranteed to, OHKO. Mach Punch is really nice, like I said. He has a bit of a pronounced fighting weakness, and a lot of the things that are weak to fighting can outspeed him. Things like the Excadrill, Ambipom, Cryogonal, and having a Mach Punch against all of them is going to be really nice. Pangoro and Heatran and Tyrantrum don't really want to be taking a close combat. Galvantula dies to a Stone Edge. Staraptor takes 76 to 90% from a Stone Edge as well, so that's always nice. The things that really stop this Hitmonlee, Mega Venusaur completely shuts it down, and Tentacruel takes like 34 to 41 from a Stone Edge, but it doesn't really have that much reliable recovery, so it's going to be nice to try and wear that thing down anyway. But the Assault Vest on the Hitmonlee allows me to switch into mons like the Heatran. Hopefully, you know, not getting a Lava Plume burn would be nice. Allows me to switch in to Galvantula. And basically what my plan is for this one is this is going to be my lead if I see Galvantula. If I see Galvantula, I'm assuming that he's going to lead Galvantula, and my counter to it is going to be my Hitmonlee, because it takes less than half from a Thunder, and if he wants to set up webs, I can spin them away straight away, because, as I said, I take that less than half from a Thunder. I'll be able to spin those... spin the webs away, and I can also Stone Edge it, take it down to its sash, spin as I take a hit, and then Mach Punch it and kill it, and the webs will not be around to stay. So that's kind of the only real way I have to stop webs going up, because I kind of really need webs for this game. I need webs to not be on my side, I should say, sorry. So that's my plan, is to lead Hitmonlee. If I see Galvantula, I lead Hitmonlee. With the Assault Vest and the special investment I have, I'm not 2-hit KO'd by a Thunder. So if he goes for Webs turn 1, I go for Stone Edge turn 1, and I'll take it down to its sash, and then, or at least have it in range from a Mach Punch anyway. It does 95 to 112%, so I'll either take it down to its sash or put it in range of Mach Punch, regardless. And then if he goes for a move, like an attacking move, as I go for a spin the following turn, I take it, no problem, and then I just kill it up, pick it off with a Mach Punch, and Galvantula's down and webs on the field. That's the plan anyway. But it's just generally nice just to switch into that Galvantula, to switch into potentially Mega Venusaur. If it's not an offensive one, I can actually take hits from it kind of well. If I need to, you know, just try and wear it down. If for whatever reason he doesn't bring recovery on Mega Venusaur, if I need to get some chip damage off on it to put it in range of like a Hurricane from Mega Pidgeot or something, then I can do that. And yeah, just the Mach Punch priority is going to be really nice for Excadrill, Ambipom, Pangoro, and Cryogonal, so that's always fun. So that's HBK, the Hitmonlee. Also, if I want to, the reason I have Unburden on this guy, by the way, is because if I switch into a knockoff from Pangoro, for example, or Tentacruel, whatever, and it knocks off my Assault Vest, I do actually get the Unburden boost, so it has some use of me actually switching into a knockoff instead of just getting rid of my Assault Vest. I do actually get the speed boost temporarily, which is going to be great. So I'll get the Unburden boost, and then I can just fire off hits over across everything. For example, if it's like a Scarf Pangoro, I switch into a knockoff from it, it knocks off my Assault Vest, and then I'm quicker than a Scarf Pangoro, and I can, you know, just annihilate it with a close combat, which is great. So, and I won't need to rely on like Mach Punch to take down the Excadrill or the Cryogonal. I can just close combat them and annihilate their faces, basically, or Ambipom. So that's really nice. If that Mega Venusaur's not around and I'm able to get my Unburden boost, that'd be great. But not really banking on that, it's just a fun little thing to potentially have. Anyway, next one on the team that I decided to bring is Dastardly, the Mega Pidgeot. And this guy has Hurricane, Hidden Power Ground, Heat Wave, and U-Turn. And I have 48 in attack, max special attack, and 208 in speed with a naive nature. So, Mega Pidgeot I'm bringing because there's a Mega Venusaur, and I need something to hit that thing really, really hard. So, it doesn't OHKO Mega Venusaur because Mega Venusaur is just that bulky, but it does do 77 to 91% to like a max HP Mega Venusaur. It's a 2-hit KO regardless of the spread. If he's completely offensive, not invested in HP, I'll OHKO it. If he's like a physically defensive one, I 2-hit KO. If he's specially defensive, I still 2-hit KO, so that's always nice. It's nice to have a way to 2-hit KO Mega Venusaur because they're few and far between. Hurricane's actually really nice just to spam across his team. The things that want to switch in to a Hurricane being the Heatran, I have Hidden Power Ground, the Tyrantrum, Hidden Power Ground still does a lot of damage as well, and the Excadrill to a degree, I can hit that with a Hidden Power Ground or a Heat Wave. Heat Wave does 84 to 99%, so if I get any kind of chip damage on that Excadrill, it's going to be pretty much dead. And yeah, it just does a really nice amount to pretty much the entire team. It 2-hit KOs, or OHKOs pretty much everything aside from a Tentacruel, I think. And I still do 43 to 51, so there's still a chance I 2-hit KO anyway if he doesn't have like Black Sludge or something like that. So, or if that's like a max HP Tentacruel, I'm pretty sure, so yeah, there's a chance of me 2-hit KOing that as well. So Mega Pidgeot does a lot, and I also outspeed everything that's not Scarfed. That's what that speed investment is for. Outspeed everything that's not Scarfed, and I'll be looking fine and dandy. So yeah, that's Mega Pidgeot. It just does what it does, gets me a bit of initiative with U-Turn, and it 2-hit KOs basically everything with Hurricane or HP Ground or Heat Wave. And that's what Mega Pidgeot does. Fairly standard stuff. Next one that I'm bringing on the team is Buddhist Monkey the Darmanitan, holding the Life Orb with Sheer Force, Fire Punch, Earthquake, Will-O-Wisp, and Substitute, 56 in HP, max attack, and 200 in speed with a Jolly Nature. I went back and forth on this Darmanitan set for a long time, because I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted. I was thinking Scarfed, but I didn't really want to be locked into a certain move. I wanted to be able to switch up moves. Then I was thinking I could be like a sub Salak one. I wasn't quite sure on that, but in the end I've gone for a sub Life Orb one, which might seem a bit weird, but what's going to be really nice about Darmanitan is it's going to scare out a lot of things, because it can OHKO basically everything apart from Mega Venusaur, really. If I had like Flare Blitz, I'd be OHKOing 10 out of 11 Pokemon with either a Fire Move or Earthquake, pretty much. But I've gone with Fire Punch instead, to allow me to stick around for a bit longer, and I still do a huge amount of damage to everything. I OHKO, with the combination of Fire Punch and Earthquake, I OHKO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Pokemon. I have a chance to OHKO Tyrantrum, I have a chance to OHKO the Staraptor, I do 81 to 96% to Pangoro, and I do 42 to 51% to a max HP Mega Venusaur. So, it does some things. And what's nice about Subwillow as well is if Darmanitan forces a switch out, which Darmanitan does a lot, if he goes into like his dedicated switching, which might be Tyrantrum in this case, that's to, I believe that I have a chance to OHKO Tyrantrum with an Earthquake if he's like uninvested. So if he's like max HP, he's going to be taking a bit less, and if it's, you know, fully physically defensive, obviously going to be taking a lot less than that. But if he wants to like, if he gets forced out from his mon, and as I set up a substitute, I've got free reign to burn something, to get off like 2 fire punches potentially, or 2 earthquakes, and I'll just be annihilating the team basically. This is just a wall-breaking Darmanitan for this game, because like I said, I have a chance to 2-hit KO that Mega Venusaur with Fire Punch. I can burn it to try and wear it down, because he has a distinct lack of clerics actually. In fact, I think he has 1, which is Zaytu. Does Zaytu get a heal bell? I need to look that up. But yeah, if I can burn that Mega Venusaur, start wearing it down, if I get a little bit of chip damage on it, putting it in range of Hurricane from Mega Pidgeot, for example, so it gives me a much better chance to 2-hit kill it with Darmanitan. Just a very nice thing to have all in all. So, yeah, that is Sub-Life Form Darmanitan, Buddhist Monkey. Next mon on the team that I've decided to bring is Shadi, the Garbodor, holding the Black Sludge with Aftermath, with Spike, Drain Punch, Rock Blast, and Acid Spray. Max HP, 72 in attack, 144 in defense, and 44 in speed with an Impish nature. So this thing is here to set up spikes, essentially, because it hurts a lot of his team. It's going to be putting things in range of the hits that I've been talking about. It's going to make my Okos a lot easier on Darmanitan. It's going to make the Hurricanes a lot easier on Mega Pidgeot, the close combats on Hitmonlee a lot easier, things like that. And his hazard removal is Defog Staraptor, not the best. Rapid Spin Tentacruel, he has Magic Bounce on Zaytu, and Rapid Spin on Excadrill, and Rapid Spin Cryogonal, I guess. But what's nice about the spikes, though, is they do hit quite a lot of his team, being the Heatran, Tentacruel, Galvantula. If for whatever reason the Galvantula isn't his lead, I can break its sash with spikes. Tyrantrum, Mega Venusaur, Excadrill, Ambipom, Pangoro, they're all taking spikes damage, which is going to be really nice. Now he does have, as I've mentioned, the removal that doesn't get affected by spikes, that being like Defog, Staraptor, or the Cryogonal. But I really don't mind, because him defogging / spinning is actually going to give me a bit of momentum to give me a free switch into something that can really hurt his team, and there are a lot of things that I'm bringing that can really hurt his team. So, like I mentioned, the Mega Pidgeot, the Hitmonlee, the Darmanitan, and a couple ones that I'm about to come onto as well, can really, really hurt his team. So, yeah, that is Garbodor. Also got Drain Punch to, because like I said, he has a bit of a fighting weakness, and to give me some more HP back. Poison Stab does absolutely nothing against his team. It hits nothing super effectively, and it's resisted / immune by a lot of things, so there's no point in having Poison Stab on him at all. Drain Punch, it's just a nice thing. It prevents things from setting up substitutes on it for things like the Heatran, or the Tyrantrum. Just prevents him from setting up a substitute against the Garbodor to prevent that that setup, because I can do at least 25% to him, if not a lot more. Rock Blast I have for the, what was it for? It was for the Zaytu, I think, actually, which just allows me to not get completely stopped by that guy. If he wants to switch, if he's expecting spikes off the Garbodor, or toxic spikes, whatever, and he switches in the Zaytu to Magic Bounce them back, I can hit that thing with Rock Blast on the switch in, and with my attack investment that I have, I believe 3 hits is a 2-hit KO, 5 hits is an Oko, on like a completely uninvested Zaytu, so depending what kind of luck I have, what rolls I get, then I'll be doing a lot of damage to that thing. Then I have Acid Spray, obviously not going to be affecting moves on Garbodor, but if Garbodor is going to be going down and I sack it, if I can get off an Acid Spray before I die, I'll be putting things in range from a couple of mons. The Reuniclus, like you can see, and in particular the Mega Pidgeot, because that just turns basically anything on his team into a guaranteed Oko straight up. If anything's at -2 on his squad, then I just annihilate them with Mega Pidgeot, and like I said, I outspeed everything that's not Scarfed, so looking pretty fine and dandy on that one. Next mon that I'm going to be bringing is Toby, the Reuniclus, holding the Colberry with Regenerator, with Recover, Focus Blast, Calm Mind, and Psyshock. Max HP, max defense, and 8 in special attack with a bold nature. So, this Reuniclus is quite cool in that, being physically defensive, I can take okay-ish hits from like the Staraptor, and it taking a lot of recoil from like Brave Bird, Double Edge, stuff like that. I can switch in, again, okay-ish to like a Scarf Tyrantrum, for example. So that's pretty nice. I can switch in okay-ish to an Ambipom for those physical hits. And if I start setting up, oh boy, does this thing do work. Because Psyshock does a huge number on his team, hitting the likes of the Tentacruel, the Mega Venusaur, and just being a good stab for the rest of the team. And as much as I hate it, I do have to rely on Focus Blast for this game, because I need things to hit the Heatran, the Tyrantrum, the Excadrill, the Pangoro, things like that. With the Colberry, I can take a knockoff, absolutely no problem. I think from like a max attack, from like a Scarf Pangoro max attack, I think it does like 35%, 40%, with a knockoff with the Coma Berry, so that's always good. And yeah, once I start setting up, I can do a lot of work to his team. Obviously, he has a lot of things that will outspeed me, and I really wanted to be able to fit Trick Room on this thing, but I just didn't have the room for it at all. Didn't have the trick room for it. Puns. But yeah, as much as it sucks, I have to rely on Focus Blast for this game. But Psyshock just does a really nice amount anyway. Like, it does just under half to a... I think it's... I can't remember whether it was max HP or a physically defensive Mega Venusaur. There's like just under half to it. So if I can get set up to +1, that's going to be a 2-hit KO. I can Oko the Cryogonal with a Psyshock because its physical defenses are paper thin. I can do 83 to 98 with a Focus Blast to Pangoro. I can nearly Oko the Excadrill. I can Oko the Tyrantrum. I can do a 2-hit KO on the Galvantula, 2-hit KO the Tentacruel, 2-hit KO the Staraptor, 2-hit KO the Heatran. So I just do a lot of damage to a lot of things with the combination of Psyshock and Focus Blast. So, like I said, bit of a fighting weakness, plus with the Psychic Stab as well. It's going to be doing a lot of damage, hopefully. So that's what the Reuniclus is there for. That is Toby the Reuniclus. Right then, last but most certainly not least on the team, we have Michelle the Jirachi, holding the Expert Belt with Serene Grace, Iron Head, Zen Headbutt, Ice Punch, and Drain Punch. And this has 40 in HP, max attack, and 216 in speed, with a Jolly Nature. So, this Jirachi does really nice work to the team. I've got enough speed investment to outspeed base 95s, I want to say. So max speed Zaytu, I think. I didn't put enough speed to speed tie base 100s because the Staraptor, I think if it's going to be max speed, most likely I'm expecting more of a Scarfed Staraptor more than like a Banded one, I think. Banded one is very scary, do not get me wrong, but I'm more expecting a Scarf one if that does in fact occur. And Tentacruel I feel like is going to be bulky, not going to be max speed, so there wasn't really much point in trying to speed tie either of them, I didn't feel. And I wanted a little bit of bulk, just so I can potentially take hits from the Staraptor a little bit better, because I do resist its dual stab, have to be going for close combats and stuff like that, and if it's not banded, it's going to be doing not much. So that's always good. But the combination of the coverage that I have does a lot of work to the team. It 2-hit KOs everything, apart from Heatran, I believe. 2-hit KOs everything else. Ice Punch hitting the Staraptor. Tentacruel dies to his Zen Headbutt. Galvantula is 2-hit KO'd by basically anything. Tyrantrum is 2-hit KO'd by Iron Head. Zaytu's 2-hit KO'd by Ice Punch. Mega Venusaur, I believe, if it's max HP, gets 2-hit KO'd by Zen Headbutt. I'm not sure about physically defensive, but, you know, flinch chances and stuff, who knows. Excadrill gets 2-hit KO'd by Drain Punch. Ambipom gets 2-hit KO'd by Drain Punch. Pangoro gets 2-hit KO'd by Drain Punch, and Cryogonal dies to everything because, as I said before, its physical defenses are paper thin. So, yeah, Expert Bell Jirachi hopefully going to be putting in some work. And I realise I do not have a Choice Scarfer on this team, but I didn't feel like I needed it because even though the threat of, like, for example, a Choice Scarf Excadrill, let's say, is really scary, whatever move it locks itself into, I have a free switch into something else, because if it locks itself into a rock move, I can get myself in on Jirachi and start hitting things really hard. If it locks itself into Earthquake, I get a free switch into Mega Pidgeot. Locks itself into like X-Scissor, I get to go into Garbodor or Darmanitan or Hitmonlee or Mega Pidgeot. If it locks itself into anything, I have a free switch into something else, regardless of what it locks itself into. So I know it's not the best way to deal with it, considering, you know, the fact that he can just switch it out and then come back in another time, lock himself in and on another move. But I do have immunities and resistances to his stuff, so if I predict an Earthquake, I can go into, you know, my Mega Pidgeot. If I expect the Rock Slide, I can go into my Jirachi. I have potential predictions around it and a bit of mind games, but, you know, whatever. But I feel like I've got decent ways to handle most of the team, and Mega Pidgeot's going to be putting in a lot of work, because it outspeeds even some Scarfs, like a Scarf Pangoro, I still outspeed that thing, and I can just Oko it with a Hurricane. Scarf the Heatran might be a bit of an issue, but I do have some potential answers to it. Hitmonlee not taking too much from its stabs, as long as, you know, it doesn't get a burn off like a Lava Plume and stuff, that'll be alright. But yeah, I'm hoping this is going to be a little bit of a better time than we had in week 1. I definitely need to keep the offensive momentum in this one. So I'm feeling Use Mega Pidgeot's going to come in handy dandy. And I just need to find the right opportunity to try and set up substitutes with Darmanitan, set up Calm Minds with Reuniclus, set up my spikes with Garbodor, and then just kind of hit things really, really hard with Mega Pidgeot, Hitmonlee, and Darmanitan, and Jirachi, pretty much. That's the plan anyway. So, that's the team I'm bringing for week 2. I hope you guys enjoy that, and if you think I've made some errors, then do make sure to leave a comment down below what team you would have brought to this game. And that's all for this week. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for the match that'll be happening very, very shortly. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully, I'll see you guys sometime soon. Toodaloo.